So what's because I know you have like a million different processes to writing. What's the process like for you for like writing a book? Like break it down for me. Like, okay, issue 1, where do you start?
So I like to do, I do a lot of like broad outlines, usually, especially like with Infinite Dark and a couple other books, Alex Liu is story editing me, so I'll give him a call and I'll be like, hey, I'm going to send you this like rough outline, like what do you think, and we'll talk it over, or I'll like bounce ideas off friends, or just kind of like sit in like a weird room rereading my own outline like a weirdo over and over again. But I'll write like a sort of a broad, detailed outline, like almost like a pitch or a proposal. I actually really like to work off pitches. Yeah. Like when I don't know how many other writers are this way, but when you make the pitch, it's kind of like, it's almost separate from the story. You're just like, this is my thing to get someone to buy this, so I can make it. Like, I want to make this thing. This is just the proposal. But I like to go back always to that and almost treat it like past me. It's like assigning me this work, and so I have to work off that. And so like I'll
take elements from it and
like change it a little bit, but depending on which company, I can't change it as much. So I'll do a detailed issue outline, and then I'll go. When I'm writing like the first issue script, what I'll do is I'll do like page breakdowns, and I'll write like a super loose script, and I'll just I think Hawkins does something similar where I will just like, the point is just to get the pages out. So even if the panel breakdowns suck, or the dialogue's bad, or I don't write dialogue, it's just to get the page breakdown going. And so I'll have this really rough draft that's like, sometimes it'll actually be good and I can just work off it, but most of the time it's crap and I have to go back and change everything. But I've got that full skeleton there, and then I can go back and put real, like, there'll be like 1-sentence panel descriptions that barely mean anything, but I'll go back in and put the real descriptions for the artist and kind of coordinate and update everything. And then after that, I'll go back and revise and put real dialogue, and then I'll have like an actual pitch, and then I'll get input from my editors or whatever, and then I'll go back and finally revise it, and then the book then I'll send it to the artist maybe, and then if they have notes and ideas, I'll change it based on what they want to draw. So
what's your relationship like with the artist? Like, what do you just say, hey, listen, this is my idea, run with it, or do you kind of say like, hey, listen, no,
fuck that, no way. Like, I every email to artists I send is always like, but hey man, like, whatever you want to draw, like, if you want to, like, obviously, one, because it's collaborative, right? Like, there's the whole, like, we're co-creating this together.
Of course.
Even if it was like my idea and I was paying them a 100% for higher rate, that we're still collaborating and co-creating.
Absolutely.
But also, like, they know better than me. 100% of the time, they know better to draw. And if I have,
but it's interesting because I think sometimes you're still the storyteller, and you still have to make sure the details are in the panel. You still have to check the work and have to make sure that it's done the right way, and so it's not that you don't trust them, but I'm very similar. I trust my artists like unequivocally, but I still have to go back and be like, you wrote this just doesn't work. Like, you put this on an image screen in the background, like no, just stop that. And so I have to be real about it, and sometimes and be like, listen, this works, this doesn't work, and like, but trust them for like not being an over the camera shot, over the shoulder shot. If they want to change it to that shot overhead, and let the artist kind of run wild with it.
Yeah, there have been a couple times with Andre on Infinite Dark where he's like drawn something, and I'll be like, oh well, that wouldn't work because of like the dumb physics of the universe. I'll be like, oh, that can't be like that because like it's not actually space.
We don't have gravity anymore.
Yeah, exactly. I'll be like that, and it'll be like, oh man, but it looks so cool. And I'll be like, well, let's find a way that we can work that shot in later because I like his ideas and I want him to draw the cool thing. But yeah, you have to edit the world, the verisimilitude,
exactly.
or whatever. Yeah.
Absolutely, and I think that's something that's like super important.